How's it going, guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm going to be going over my deck that I chose to run at a store championships late August this year in New Jersey. As you can see, I haven't moved it over yet, but here's the list. We decided to run Blue Flare. I've been running Blue Flare since before I took my hiatus. I took a hiatus after BT10 launch, and I came back. I had most of the cards, picked up some of the pieces that I was missing for the updated version. So we took this today, and I'm just gonna go over the list with you guys here. So we'll start with the eggs. You got the nice Wanyamon. It's got the inherited effect when attacking once per turn. If you have a blue tamer in play, draw one. You're going to be playing tamers. It's a Digicross deck, so this synergizes really well, and it does help get through some of the less optimal hands you might get at a time. Sometimes your mulligan just doesn't help, so this is a card that really helps unclog the board. If you can manage to get one tamer out, it's better than not getting anything. So I like seeing this when I flip it over. I think it's the best generic blue egg right now. And then we have one of the Missamon from EX4. This inherited effect, if you have a Digimon in play on deletion, draw a card. It's just, you're swinging with a Galismon, you're swinging with a level 3. It's going to get deleted. You've probably already played something else, especially if you have the Dracomon already on the board. You play something else next to it. You swing with the Dracomon after you draw one, and then you just draw a second card, so it synergizes really well with the level 3 lines that we're playing. We'll start going over the rookies here. For the level 3 line, I've got 4 of the BT10 Galismon, 4 of the Dracomon from BT11, and 2 Madoki Betamon. The Gaussmon, swing into something, on deletion, play a level 4, you play your Greymons, your Mailbirds. It's Blue Flare at its core. You got the Dracomon. If you play another Blue Flare next to it while it's out in the field, you draw a card. So that's just going to help unclog your hand, get your engine going a little faster. Got a good old Madoki Betamon. Now, this actually helped me out a lot today. I ran into a couple players using memory boosts. So I would hit the memory boost in security. Next turn, end of turn, I would leave them at 1. By playing this, go from 2, crossover, set them at 1. If they don't have a memory tamer out, they can't use their memory boost. So by having this out on the field, they can't pop that. If they don't have a way to delete it, let's say you played a Metal Gray, you stun their board, you use Sorai, just the various way this deck can stun things, it's really good at trying to lock down boards that would be otherwise difficult for you to deal with. Next we got our line of Greymons, our Mailbirds. It's generic Blue Flare stuff, but we've got 4 of the old Greymon and 2 of the Mailbird. So Greymon on play, reveal top 4, take 2 Blue Flare cards. If you have a Kiraha in play, you can take a Metal Gray out of your trash, so it's good if something happens to it, gets DP reduced, taken off the board, something happens to it. So there's that. Mailbird, if you don't have one of your tamers in play, it lets you play it when you on the on-play effect. And if you do have one, you also get to return the Metal Greymon from your trash. I didn't have a third of the Red Greymon, so unfortunately I couldn't play 3 of the Red Greymon. So I did use one of the EX4. On play, reveal top 3, take a Tamer, and a blue or black card with Digicross requirements. I don't like this one as much. You end up trashing the third card, so sometimes you just end up throwing away something you need later. So I avoid having this. The only reason I played another one of these instead of a third of the BT10 Mailbird was I wanted to have ways to get into the EX4 Metal Gray, and that does require Blue Greymon, specifically in the Digicross. So I didn't ever want to get into a situation where I was forced to 5 cost it, when I could have gotten it for 3. It's just inefficient, so we did decide to go with that. You've got your level 4 Greymon, starter deck 1. This is the classic. Slap it under, swing 2 checks. If you can get the jamming from the other Mailbird, which is the EX4 Mailbird. It's got jamming. It's just really good synergy. Swing in, 2 checks, doesn't pop anything unless you hit an option, which there's not as much option hate in security right now. I'm really comfortable in just going with jamming and swinging. I think it's really good at the moment. Next, we've got our level 5 line, which is going to be your Metal Greys, your Cyber Launcher, and the new Metal Grey. Classic Metal Grey, Digicross, you can reduce it by up to 4. Greymon Mailbird under it, gets Rush, stuns 3 things with equal or less Digivolution source on the board. Just good old stunning gun. Metal Greymon Cyber Launcher. Now, I think this is the MVP of the deck. On play or when Digivolving, you can tuck a Blue Flare under it. So I like to tuck the Dracomon because that inheritable gives you a memory when something else is played. But you can tuck something under it and bottom deck a level 4 from their side of the field. If you don't, you still get the bottom deck a level 3, but it does get rid of Floodgates, so Psychmon, your Pillowmons, your Solarmons, things that really get in the way of Digicross using efficient memory. This thing just gets rid of. And you can Digivolve it on top of a Metal Greymon for 2. It goes on a blue level 5 for only 2 memory. So let's say they have the Psychmon out. You're still reducing your cost from 8 to 2 by just Digivolving on top of a Metal Grey, or Digivolving for 4 on top of a Greymon or a Mailbird. And you're bouncing that to the bottom of the deck. So if they only play 2 Psychmon, they're probably not seeing it unless they already have it in their hand, or they get a lucky hit. A lot of search outside of purple memory boost isn't going to grab that. So it's a really good card for just freeing up the board and getting you out of those jams that old Blue Flare would just be stuck against. You played a Psychmon down against Blue Flare before this card came out. You sat there, you prayed. So this is a really good card. And then we've got the new Metal Grey from EX4. Well, newer Metal Grey. We ignore the inheritable, but it gets Rush, it strips sources. It's just there as extra level 5s. To be honest with you, I wish we had a bit of a better level 5 there, but it is what it is. My level 6 is, I only play 2 right now. I want to go up to 2 Zeeg, Greymon, but we only had 1, so we may do. Play the Zeeg, Digivolve on a Metal Greymon, unsuspend itself. If they got 2 or more on the field, and there's a Blue Flare and the Digivolution sources, then you gain 2 memory back. So it's a free Evo if you Evo on top of a Cyber Launcher or a Metal Grey, and there's a Blue Flare is already firing. It's just free unsuspend. If you've got the red Greymon under there, you're 2 more checks with jamming. So you've essentially swung 2 to 3 times, especially if you took the Cyber Launcher, Digivolve on top of the Metal Grey, and tuck the Greymon from BT10 that lets you unsuspend on swing. So you're potentially getting 6 checks out of 1 turn for 5 memory. Because let's say you hard play the Metal Grey, you Digivolve into the launcher for 2 more, so you're at 5 memory. Swing, unsuspend, swing again, Digivolve this on top of it, unsuspend, swing for 6 checks, and then let's say you've got a Gaussmon next to it, you just swing again for game. So it's really good for efficient, heavy swings, which is what this deck is trying to do. We do play 1 Kuzu. Kuzu's good if you don't see the Zeeg, you just slap it down, play a Blazing Boost. You get to play out one of your level 4s, so let's say you play out the BT10 Greymon that lets you unsuspend with the inheritable. Play that out, reveal your top 4. It probably is going to get deleted at some point, and you tuck it under a Tamer, you're good to go. It's just really nice. It works well with a deck that, it's all of its options are playable with this. You got the 4 Sorai, you've got the Blazing Memory Boost. It's just a fairly synergistic card that kind of fills the spot for the second Zeeg. And we got Blitz Omni. I'm sure you guys know what Blitz Omni does. Digivolve it on top, unsuspend itself. It has Blitz. It's an extra swing. So you could even go on top of the Zeeg with this and just finish the game off right there. We got 4 Blazing Memory Boost. I'm not going to go into it. It's generic memory boost for this archetype. You reveal top 6. You can take 2 Blue Flare cards and then play 1 Kiraha if it's revealed out of that. So you're getting a net 2, if not a net 3 out of it. It's really good early. Slam it on turn 1. Yes, you're giving them 5, but you're getting so much value out of it a good chunk of the time that it hurts, but it's better than not having the cards out. 1 Ice Wall, that's at 1. 1 memory, good at memory choking, makes it so it's hard for them to swing into you if you want to stall for a turn. If they hit insecurity, it's gain 2 memories, so that's always good. And you got 4 Sorai. Sorai is one of the best options in the game right now. trash top 4 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. Until the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack. So let's say you're playing against Shine Gray, right? They swing into your security, they got 4 sources, they hit this, that's gone. All of those Marcuses just sitting there, no sources, they can't swing. You just effectively ended their turn. They can't Digivolve on those Marcuses, they can't do anything with them, so they're just sitting ducks. At the end of the turn, they go away. You know, you're sitting there, you can swing into the Shine with no sources, you can swing around it. You can honestly slap another Metal Gray down, stun the Shine, and then play another Sorai so that they still can't swing. Like there's ways around it. This card is really good into a current meta where there's a lot of no source swinging. Royal Knight's good against. That's good against Shine Gray. If a deck doesn't play their delicate plans, it's going to be good into red. If you can strip their sources, they're just sitting there. They can't do that much, and you could probably, it's a 4 is a good memory cost, so you could probably get them somewhere close to 1. They don't have a memory setter. You're giving them 2 memory to try to rebuild the board. It's hard to get out of that kind of hole. Finally, we've got our Tamers. Nothing too special with those. We've got 4 of the memory setter. Lets you play out if you suspend it for a Digicross from underneath. And then you've got the Dual Tamer introduced in EX4. It's blue-black. It's treated as a Kiraha, so you can pull it off of the boosts. You can use it with the Metal Gray and Mailbird effects and the Greymon effects. Start to main. There's 2 or more Digimon. Gain an extra memory. Most of the time that goes off, so it sets you at 4 effectively instead of 3. And if you want, when you're going to Digicross, you can pull one of your sources from the trash by suspending it, as well as one from either your hand or your Tamers. It's really good if you, for some reason, they DP reduce something and you needed that Greymon or that Mailbird that just, you didn't have a Tamer out at first. You play this, you're still able to Digicross with it. It comes in clutch. You don't play it at 4 because the memory setter is just going to be generally more useful for a longer period of time in the game. But at 2, it comes up enough where as a last-ditch resort, you can play that, slam it down. Let's say they leave you at 4 memory, slam it down, Digicross a Metal Gray for 3 using, the Mailbird in the trash. And not only do you have a way to put it back onto the Tamer with save, but you also are now you're sitting here with more flexibility. That's what this deck needed. It was really rigid with what it could do. We used to play Sora Joe, the old Dual Tamer. It was alright, but it didn't really fit because it didn't add any utility with the Digicross. This card fills that hole that we were trying to patch with Sora Joe. I'm really glad that they added this support. So, we've looked at the deck. It ran pretty well. I had a couple games. I had one set where I didn't see Mailbird for 7 turns straight. I ended up losing the set. It was my round 3. And let me just find the tab. We'll go over the sets now that we had. So there were 17 people at today's store championship. It was a little small, but it was a good event. I missed a lot of the guys and the other players, the girls, the gals, everybody. I hadn't seen in a while. So some people that I hadn't played in a long time came out. So round 1, we got straight into what I would just say is a hard counter. Hades Force is a card that just blows up your board. It targets Tamers, it can target Digimon. So what he would do is I'd get a little bit going, take a couple chips. He would set up a black base and play Hades Force, red-black base, plays Hades Force, and he's able to pop my Tamers in the back, so I would lose all my sources. I would lose anything that was on there. And at that point, it was mid-game, so I wouldn't be able to climb back in time. I just didn't have the defense for it. I could Digicross again, but I'd have to draw new sources. So unfortunately, we did take the loss to start off the day. A little disheartening, but nothing too terrible. It's kind of expected. That is the one way to beat Blue Flare, is to get rid of the Tamers. You get rid of the Tamers, there's no easy way for us to keep our sources, so it just becomes we got rid of the Metal Greymon, well, he doesn't have anything left, so he can't play the Metal Greymon again if he has another one. Round 2 was against Gallantmon. Gallantmon's been nice. It's got some of that red-purple support in the last couple sets, so I played against a build that used some of the mill cards as well as the deletion cards from the starter deck. What I did was I waited for him to push something out, and I immediately stripped its sources and then Metal Grade to freeze it. So what would happen is he was never able to really attack with anything on the board, and then he would have to hard play something, try to delete it. I ended up, I think game two, I had three Metal Grays, so for three turns straight, I stunned everything. And then I top decked another one of my Metal Grays, the EX4 one. So he started his turn, everything went through, he got rid of the Metal Gray, and I just played the last one for two checks. I had something in raising, so I brought that up, and it was about how the matchup is supposed to go. He hit into a Sorai insecurity too in one of the games, and it just kind of froze him. Um, Round three was probably the best set of Digimon that I had for the day. Game one, I set up. I got my red Greymon stack with jamming on a Metal Gray. Swung four checks in two turns. That was easy. Game two, he came back. He cleared my board. And he just did not let me set up. I did not see Mailbird at all during the game. Um, Three of my security were Mailbirds actually, so it was just a really rough hand. But my opponent played it really well and didn't let me have a chance to dig through my deck. I think it was a four-turn game when all was said and done. Game three, we got to the final turn. I was trying to Cyber Launcher away an Agumon, and I just wasn't able to find a second Cyber Launcher, so I wasn't able to use the effect on the Greymon instead that I wanted on the board. I did bottom deck the Agumon, but I left him at 2 memory, and he had 2 Cool Boys out, so he was able to have just enough memory to get out a Digiburst Black War Greymon stack, and the whole turn, and it was really cool to see, but the whole turn, he just Digibursted 4 times and cleared 8 checks worth of swings, six checks worth of swings, and then swung for game. So like that, I respect that. That was hard loss. I didn't feel too great about it, but my opponent just pulled off the perfect amount of play. And honestly, I did make a bad decision earlier in the game. I did end up, I believe I evolved on one of my cyber launchers when I didn't need to. So I wasted my last cyber launcher that I thought I'd see another, but it turns out I wouldn't. And it's how it goes. Sometimes you can't see some of these cards where they are in the deck with that. There's no search in this game, so that happens. And then Beal Starmon was around my round 4 opponent. I actually played him in the last weekly I went to at the store, so it was good to see a familiar face. Game 1, he was able to just chip away, and he wiped my board before I got a tamer out. I didn't see a tamer early, and I got punished for it. Game 2, I set up my tamers. I was able to just continually play Sorai and to stun his board with Metal Greymon plays, so he wasn't actually able to swing with anything. He would play Psychmon down. I would hard play the Metal Gray with Digicross, but make it 7 cost because I couldn't reduce costs. I'd stun the full board, and I'd had a tamer out, so I ended up drawing another Metal Greymon the next turn. Cyber Launched on top of the one that I had on the board. Swung. It ended up getting deleted. I think I hit a Fly Bullet and a one of the other removal options. So he got rid of it. I had another Metal Gray. Played it the next turn. Or sorry, played it next on that turn. Stunned his board. Did it again. And then game 3, I just set up. I took 4 checks the second turn and stunned his board with a Sorai and a Metal Gray play on the third turn. And he just wasn't able to get out. So I was able to outspeed him there. That matchup really just, if I can get set up before there's 6, 7 cost or Musketeer options in his trash, Beelstar players are just able to get rid of their Psychmon, pop their Psychmon, and play a Beelstar for 1 or free. So it's really a matter of be faster or lose. A lot of the decks in this format are like that. But we went 2-2 on the day. Unfortunately, we bubbled out of top 8. The store was doing prizing for top 8. I think I played against the second place person. I played against I believe the winner of the day. Actually, I think I lost to the winner in round 3, and I lost to the second place runner-up in round 1. Was a really nice day overall. I like how I played. The deck ran really, really well, and I'm gonna be trying to tweak the list. I think I'm going to add one more, one more of the red Greymon, and then I'll try to find a spot for the Zeeg. I might remove the Kuzu just for the Zeeg, the second Zeeg, because I do think it's really good for those loop plays, really efficient turns. That's what this deck wants: consistent, efficient, and speed. Um, So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the deck list. I'm going to leave the link to the deck list description below. I'll also put the store name and in the description. Greg's Games is my local game store that I go to for sealed product for this game. They have a great relationship with their distributors, and they have a great relationship with us, the players. Um, if you're in the area, feel free to come on out, check out our events. They play on Wednesdays. I don't own the events, I mean ours as our communities. We play there, and we do have store champs, once a set. They are a Bandai store, so they also carry One Piece if you're into that. Feel free to check them out. I like them. I've been going to them since I moved into this area about a year and a half ago. Um, yeah. There's other stores in the area. I also go to a store called Top Deck, or I'm going to be start going there for Digimon. So I'm going to be trying to do some reports on my lists as we go along, give you some variety on the channel, and we'll have updates to the Blue Flare. I got a couple decks I want to bring out to locals. I'm really excited, and I'm happy to be back on YouTube. It's been a while. I decided let's start over. I've got a new gamertag alias going on, and happy you guys are along for the ride. It's been a long time, and I'm pleased to be able to start doing this again for you guys. If you like the video, feel free to like, comment, or honestly just watch. I like having you guys here. Sub if you want. You'll be able to find out when I'm posting stuff, pop up in your feeds, and feel free to leave a comment saying hi, or if how you've played Blue Flare. If you hate playing against Blue Flare, let me have the hate. I always love hearing the opposing players' perspectives, just so I can see how maybe you guys notice something on how to beat it that I don't, or vice versa. I do plan on doing just an archetype overview at some point too, so there's going to be a lot of content, especially regarding this deck. It's a classic of mine. But thank you guys for watching. I've rambled for long enough, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.